I should have kissed him that night. Instead, I walked away like a coward, thinking time would make it easier. 10 years later, standing in front of him again, I realized time hadn't healed a damn thing, it had only deepened the wound. The small town hadn't changed much since I left. Same cracked sidewalks, same faded diners with neon signs that buzzed louder than they shone. But when I saw Aaron leaning against the railing of the old bookstore, the place where we first met, I knew everything inside me was about to unravel. His eyes lifted, catching mine like a spotlight in a darkened theater. For a second, I thought he'd smile, maybe curse me out, maybe rush into my arms like he used to. Instead, he just froze, lips parting like he couldn't breathe. And then he looked away. God, that hurt more than I expected. I shoved my hands deep into my pockets, forcing my steps forward. Hey, Aaron. My voice cracked, betraying me. 10 years, and I still sounded like the boy who begged him to wait. He turned, slow and careful, as though bracing himself. You're back. No welcome, no anger, just 2 words laced with exhaustion. I am. I swallowed hard, my throat dry as sandpaper. I should have come back sooner. His laugh was short, bitter, like broken glass under boots. 10 years sooner, maybe. There it was, the sharp edge of resentment, and who could blame him? I left this town chasing a future I wasn't sure existed, leaving him with nothing but empty promises. I thought I was protecting him from the mess I was, but in reality, I just abandoned him. I wanted to tell him everything, that every city light I stared at reminded me of the stars we used to count, that every stranger's laugh echoed the sound of his voice, that every night I dreamt of coming back and doing it all differently. But the words stuck, heavy and useless. Can we talk? I asked, desperate. Aaron's jaw tightened. Talk about what? About how you vanished without a goodbye. About how I had to stand in front of everyone and pretend I wasn't shattered. You had your chance, Luke, and you threw it away. Hearing my name in his mouth was both a blessing and a curse. I took a step closer, close enough to see the faint tremble in his hands. He was angry, yes, but he was also hurting. And beneath all that pain, I swore I saw something else. Longing. I whispered, I never stopped loving you. His breath hitched, but he shook his head, retreating like a wounded animal. Don't you dare say that. If you loved me, you would have stayed. My chest caved in, the guilt pressing heavier than ever. I wanted to pull him into my arms, to crush the years between us. Instead, I stood frozen, swallowing the ache. The air grew thick, the silence louder than words. People walked by, unaware of the storm unraveling between 2 men on a quiet street. Finally, Aaron broke it. I can't do this right now, he said, voice softer, pained. He turned to leave, but before he could walk away, my hand shot out, grasping his wrist. The contact burned. Familiar, electric, like the universe mocking me with what I'd lost. He stilled, not pulling away but not looking back either. Aaron, please, I murmured, my voice shaking. Give me a chance to make it right. He slowly turned, his gaze locking onto mine. There were tears in his eyes he refused to let fall. For the first time in years, I saw the boy I fell in love with, the boy who once trusted me with everything. And for the first time in years, I swore I'd fight like hell to earn that trust back. The next day, I found myself at the coffee shop where Aaron worked. I hadn't planned it, but some part of me knew he'd be there. The bell above the door chimed, and his eyes flickered up, hardening when they landed on me. You're persistent, he muttered. I have to be. He handed a customer their drink before walking over, crossing his arms. This isn't some rom-com where you show up after a decade and everything magically works out. Life doesn't work like that. I know, I admitted. I don't expect forgiveness overnight. I just want the chance to prove I'm not the same guy who left. He studied me for a long moment, searching for cracks in my resolve. Finally, he sighed. Fine, 1 chance. But the second you screw up, I walk away. And this time, I won't look back. Relief washed through me, so powerful it nearly knocked me over. I'll take it, I said quickly. Aaron raised a brow. Don't thank me yet. I'm not promising anything. but I saw the faintest flicker of softness in his eyes. Maybe he didn't want to admit it, but some part of him wanted this too. And that was enough. For now. That night, lying in the cheap motel bed I'd rented, memories clawed at me. The way Aaron used to fall asleep on my chest, murmuring dreams into my skin. The way we carved our initials into the wooden railing at the lake. The way he whispered forever under a sky full of stars. I'd thrown all of that away, but now I had a chance. And I wasn't going to waste it. Tomorrow I'd start again. I'd show him the man I'd become. And maybe, just maybe, I could remind him why he once believed in us. Because losing Aaron once was a mistake. Losing him again? That would be unforgivable. Aaron didn't make it easy. He never had, not when it mattered. He was stubborn in the way people are when they've been hurt too many times. And I deserved every wall he put up between us. The days turned into weeks, and each one tested me. We spoke in fragments, exchanged careful looks, and I felt like I was learning him all over again. He wasn't the boy I left behind. He was stronger, more guarded. But there was still that same softness buried deep inside, the part of him I had loved from the start. One evening we ended up back at the lake. The same lake where we had carved our initials into the railing 10 years ago. The air was cool, the water rippling with moonlight, and for the first time since coming back, Aaron didn't seem like he wanted to run. "You remember this place?" I asked, my voice quiet. He gave me a look. "Of course I do. Hard to forget the place where you promised me forever and then broke it." The sting of his words cut deep, but I didn't flinch. Instead, I nodded. I deserved that. For a moment, silence stretched between us, heavy and fragile. Then I took a step closer, close enough that our shoulders almost brushed. "But I also remember what you said that night," I continued. "You said if we ever lost each other, you'd still find your way back to me. Do you still believe that?" His lips trembled. He looked down at the water, his hands curling into fists. "I don't know anymore." I reached out, gently covering one of his hands with mine. He stiffened, but he didn't pull away. My thumb brushed over his knuckles, and I whispered, "Then let me show you. Let me prove that this time, I'm here for good." Aaron's breath hitched, and I felt the faintest squeeze of his hand in return. The turning point came unexpectedly. One night, after his shift, I offered to walk him home. He protested at first, but when the rain started pouring, he didn't argue. We ran through the streets, drenched and laughing in spite of ourselves. It felt like old times, like two kids too in love to care about the world watching. By the time we reached his porch, we were soaked, breathless, and staring at each other with the kind of intensity one hadn't felt in years. "Luke!" His voice broke on my name, his eyes wide, torn between resistance and surrender. Couldn't hold back anymore. "Aaron?" I whispered, stepping closer until there was no space left between us. "Please, just let me love you." And then I kissed him. It wasn't gentle. It was desperate, raw, and full of every regret and every promise I'd ever wanted to make. For a heartbeat, he froze, but then he melted against me, kissing me back like he'd been holding it in for years. The rain poured around us, but none of it mattered. In that moment, the world could have ended, and I wouldn't have cared. When we finally pulled apart, foreheads pressed together, his breath was shaky. "Don't you dare hurt me again," he whispered. "I won't," I swore. "Not this time. Not ever." The weeks that followed weren't perfect. We fought. We argued about the past, about the scars I left behind. But through every fight, Aaron didn't walk away. And through every apology, I stayed. Slowly, painfully, we rebuilt what was broken. One night, sitting together on his couch, I finally told him everything, why I left, how scared I had been of being two boys in love in a town that didn't accept it, how I thought I was protecting him. My voice cracked as I confessed every selfish choice, every sleepless night, every regret that ate at me. When I finished, Aaron was silent for a long time. Then he leaned in, pressing a soft kiss to my temple. "You're an idiot," he whispered. "But you're my idiot. And I guess I never really stopped loving you either." I broke down then, holding him tighter than I ever had. The final piece came months later, standing again at that old bookstore where we had reunited. This time, I didn't hesitate. I took his hand in front of everyone, my voice steady as I said, 10 years ago, I let you go because I was afraid, but I'm not afraid anymore. I want the whole world to know that you're mine, and I'm yours. Forever. Aaron's eyes glistened, and a smile real, unguarded, beautiful spread across his face. Forever, he echoed, before pulling me into a kiss that sealed it all. The town might never understand us. The world might never stop judging. But none of that mattered, because after 10 years of regret, I finally had him back. And this time I wasn't letting go. The lake, the bookstore, the coffee shop, all of it became ours again. Every place that once held memories of heartbreak now pulsed with new ones of hope. We weren't the same boys who had fallen in love under the stars, but maybe that was the point. We had grown, we had broken, and we had found our way back stronger. And as Aaron leaned against me one evening, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of gold, he whispered, 10 years apart, and we still found our way back. Guess some promises really are forever. I kissed the top of his head, pulling him closer. Forever, I murmured, certain this time, because love like ours didn't die. It waited, and know it was finally home. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.